Everything Ohio State wants is still in front of them, but only if they take care of business tonight against Wisconsin.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to your afternoon edition of Locked On Buckeyes, which is your daily Ohio State podcast. Part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Now the number one sports podcast network. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, veteran sports talk host, delivering passionate coverage about your Buckeyes. And during this hardwood huddle, we will discuss players that must play big so the Buckeyes can upset the Badgers. But first, the Buckeyes have put themselves in a very interesting spot where their goal at the beginning of the season was to make the NCAA tournament. And here they are right now on the bubble. And some are saying they are on the grouping of players that's in the first four out. Well, Ohio State has been searching for a big win all season, and that can happen tonight when Wisconsin comes to town. And you can look back to the first meeting where Wisconsin won that one 92-82, and you saw moments in the first meeting where Ohio State was keeping it close. They were playing very, very well. But Wisconsin went on a string of 10 straight possessions where they scored. Ohio State couldn't get stops, and it seemed like a spiral effect started, and Ohio State could not overcome the obstacle. Well, they must treat this game like a win-or-go-home situation. It's a must-win game. We don't say many games in the regular season in college basketball are must-win games, but that's where Ohio State has put themselves. This game tonight is a must-win game, and they have to seize the big opportunity by getting a quad one win and pulling off an upset to keep their NCAA tournament hopes alive. It is still maybe realistic to some that Ohio State could still make the tournament if they lose tonight. However, based off how Ohio State has played in Big Ten play, it's hard for me to believe that they're going to, if they lose this game tonight, that they will end up winning out and then making that push down the stretch to make themselves a lock for the tourney. I don't see that happening, but some people might see it becoming a reality. What can become a reality is Bruce Thornton, Amari Bynum, Devin Royal, Christoph Tilley, and everybody else on this team playing out of their minds tonight. I would absolutely love to see Bruce Thornton have another game like he did, well, part of the game like he did against Virginia, but continue that down the final 10 minutes of the second half. Allow that portion of the game where you are playing strong, you're lights out, you're getting downhill, even without your running mate and John Mobley Jr., he took his level of play and scoring to another level to where Virginia didn't have an answer. They had no answer at all. But the answer and what happened was Virginia took advantage of some of Ohio State mental errors. The same thing Wisconsin did. It's the same thing. Now, Wisconsin got hot. They had a shooter that just was shooting lights out. And so sometimes a guy gets hot and it's really hard. It's really nothing you can do to stop him. But in the first meeting, the scoring for Ohio State was more balanced, where you had three guys scoring at least 16 points. Amari Bynum had 18. Devin Royal had 16. And Bruce Thornton had 18. John Mobley Jr., who was not expected to return this quickly, was 4-12 shooting and only had 9 points. He was also 1 of 8 from downtown. And so when you lose that production, while the shooting wasn't great, those are 9 points that Christoph Tilley can add in, or maybe even Tayson Chapman can add in as well. He had 14 points in the last meeting, and I can easily see Tayson, as long as Diebler allows him to have a longer leash to score the basketball and to shoot a little bit, I can see Tayson Chapman having 10 to 14 points. Now, that would be a crazy thought to some, but early in the game against Virginia, what we saw was Tayson, when he gets into a rhythm and when he gets into a flow, he can score in the flow of the offense, and it doesn't mess anything up. It just continues to help the offense flow. And I think tonight with Bruce Thornton, he probably has to have 25 to 30 points tonight, and maybe 25 to 30 points the rest of the season for Ohio State to do the things they want to do. But Tayson Chapman has to score. He's probably going to get the start once again. I don't see Diebler making a change in the starting lineup, pulling him out for somebody else, assuming everybody else on the bench outside of Ivan doesn't really give you that many productive minutes. Now, they will give you minutes as far as helping somebody else rest or allowing somebody to not continue to be in foul trouble. But the rest of the guys on the bench don't really do that much at all that's really productive. And so you got to believe that Tayson Chapman is a guy that needs to play bigger this evening. But all eyes are looking at Bruce Thornton and Jake Diebler. I'm looking to see how Bruce Thornton leads the team and how he keeps everybody's spirits high, how he does not want to end his Buckeye career without making an interest in an appearance in the NCAA tournament. But Jake Diebler, this is a big moment for him. Talk about a big opportunity for the team. This is a big opportunity for Jake Diebler. If he can make the Boo Birds be quiet for just a night, they're not going to be quiet for the rest of the season, but simply quiet them for a night as Ohio State dictates the pace, as the Buckeyes are better rebounders. The things they're asking Ohio State to do tonight, they're things they haven't done well all year. I'm not going to ask them to start shooting threes because this is not a great three-point shooting team. And if they go out there and jack up 20, I don't think it's a recipe for Ohio State to win. I don't. But what we do see, though, with this team, they don't really rebound that well. They don't get much production off the bench. Some of the hustle stats, they're not really great in those areas. But they can't lean into what's happened in the previous games. They must do those things tonight because that's what you have to do if you want to make the NCAA tournament. This is not just Ohio State playing another ranked team. This isn't just Ohio State trying to make some noise late in the season. They're trying to play in the big dance. They want an invitation to a 68-team grouping of teams that are trying to win one trophy. They want to be a part of that group of 68. And as it sits right now with me and maybe in you, we may be on the same page, but we don't think this is what's going to happen for them. But if they do things that they really haven't done consistently all season, tonight against Wisconsin, Ohio State can keep their hopes alive about playing in the NCAA tournament this year. Speaking of playing in the NCAA tournament, it doesn't look like the Buckeyes are trending in that direction. However, it is possible that the Buckeyes still have an opportunity to accomplish that goal. We will tell you why after the break. This episode is brought to you by Mazda. This is Mazda's moving the game forward. For those who show there's more to the score than what's on the screen. And this week's moving the game forward player is once again Amari Bynum. He came in against Virginia and was phenomenal, knowing the second leading scorer of the team, John Mobley Jr., was out indefinitely with a hand injury. He needed to raise his level of play, and he did just that. And that play that he had against Virginia on both ends of the court, that needs to carry over to what is going to happen tonight in the shot for Ohio State to pull off a massive, massive upset. These remind us of what it really takes to raise the bar. It's that extra work off the court, dialing in every detail, giving it that extra fire, that grit, and I never quit. We put that same passion into every model. Highlights make the reel. What it took to get there makes it count. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. This episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. Ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person? FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. That's right. Flights, tickets, the whole experience. If you're already looking at the board and thinking about which team can make a deep run, this is a perfect time to lock it in. I love futures this time of year. Whether it's picking a team to win the championship or grab a conference title, it adds that extra layer of excitement to every game down the stretch. And now, not only can your pick cash, but it could also send you to the finals. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use a profit boost on any NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. This episode is also brought to you by Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Workplace chaos, deadline stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for Sponsored Jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for. Skills, experience, location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. and listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. The Buckeyes have a big opportunity tonight to pull off a massive, massive upset over the number 22 team of the land in Wisconsin. But also, if they make that a reality and they pull off that win, the Buckeyes' goals are still attainable. The Buckeyes set out every single season to make the NCAA tournament. It doesn't matter if it's Diebler or Holtman or Mata. It doesn't matter who is coaching. One goal every Ohio State team has is to make the field of 68. It's a tall task. It's very difficult for Ohio State of late to make that a reality, but it is still something that is attainable for Ohio State this year. The Buckeyes record right now, they're 16-9. They're 8-6 in league play. They also have a chance to tally up a couple of wins in the Big Ten tournament that could boost their tourney resume. I don't know if it will, because sometimes it's too little too late, but it is possible. But Ohio State right now has 6 games left. Tonight against Wisconsin, Saturday on the road at Michigan State, who is the number 15 team to land. Once again, on Wednesday the 25th, they're at Iowa, back home on Sunday, March 1st, hosting the number 17 Purdue on the road to play Penn State after that, and then back home for the regular season finale at home as well as Saturday, March 7th. If the Buckeyes find a way to win 4 of their next 6 games, they're going to boost their tournament resume, and that would also mean they would have at least one quad one win, because the Buckeyes play 3 ranked teams that are currently ranked throughout the rest of the season: Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Purdue. If they win 4 of 6, that gives them an ability to lose a couple of games against ranked teams. But also, if they, say, lose to IU and lose to Iowa, that means you're beating the other ranked teams on your resume. So you could easily get at least 3 quad one wins. I'm not sure where Iowa sits in that discussion right now, but Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Purdue are all quad one teams. They have a massive opportunity to boost their resume to accomplish that goal. And if I am Jake Diebler, I know I keep pointing back to the time when he was the interim head coach, but it seemed like in that time period, the players played very hard for him. They believed in him. They picked up what he was putting down. And the result was the Buckeyes winning some games down the stretch that many people didn't think they were going to win. Tonight, via our friends at FanDuel, Ohio State is a 1.5-point dog against Wisconsin. The over-under is set at 157.5. And only being a 1.5-point dog to Wisconsin, that's a huge win. And I don't know what the weight is for a home court in college basketball. And football is generally 2.5 to 3 points. College basketball, you would assume it'd be 1.5 to 2. So really, this could literally be a pick'em game. And if you were to tell me that a week ago, or even right now as I'm saying it, oh, this game is a pick'em, I would have said absolutely not. Wisconsin's going to win by 5 to 8 points. That's just where I'm currently sitting. I don't really do score predictions in college basketball because the sport is so weird, but I easily can see Wisconsin winning by 5 to 8 points. I think it will be closer at times than the first meeting, but I have a hard time believing Ohio State's going to play well enough to win this game when it feels like the team is losing confidence, not just in maybe individually losing confidence. I think they're losing the trust of their teammates, because I have lost count about how many times defensively players are focused on the man with the ball and while they're playing man-to-man defense, instead of also having in their mind where their man is. Think about it. There are numerous times we've watched Ohio State basketball, the guy on the backside on the weak side who is down on the block on the weak side, trying to get a quick hand on the guy who's on the opposite wing with the ball. All of a sudden, the quick swing pass to their man who's behind the three-point line, they can't close quick enough. They bang that three in. You're going back the other way, and you're thinking, well, what happened? Well, I think sometimes people lose sight of their man, or they try to double team or overcompensate when a player starts to drive, and they forget their man, and bam, they're scoring. And I think all of it is a trust thing. Now, there was a time this past weekend where Ivan came in for a double team and it led to a turnover, and it was the right play. But I think there have been times that there have been some players out there that haven't really been trusting their team's their teammates' defense, and it's led to easy points for the other team. If they fix things defensively, even if the shooting that Ohio State has as the way Ohio State's been shooting all year, if that continues, defensively is where they can change. Active hands, active feet, the energy and the effort, the great closeouts. If all of those things happen, the Buckeyes, who's a team whose goals are still attainable, they can reach them, and they can shut up a lot of doubters. I'm call me a doubter, maybe. I'll take that badge because I don't believe Ohio State's making the tournament at all. I can try to hype you up. I can get you to believe it. But what my eyeballs tell me is this team just isn't good enough. When I hear Matt Norlander, and I'm not talking bad about Norlander, he does a great job covering college basketball for CBS Sports, but a clip of him came up and on broadcast, we're talking about various topics about Ohio State making the tournament. I'm trying to figure out what team they're watching because they can't really win the games they need to win in the conference. They haven't beat, I don't believe they beat a ranked team all season. Lost to Illinois, lost to North Carolina, lost to Nebraska, lost to Michigan again, lost to Virginia. So when they haven't beat a ranked team all season, why should I believe they're going to beat Wisconsin tonight, beat Michigan State on Sunday, and then beat Purdue on the first day of March? Why should I believe that when they haven't beat those teams all year? I don't. Their goals are attainable. I just don't think they're going to achieve them this year. Thank you all for tapping into this afternoon edition of Locked on Buckeyes. You can follow me on any social media platform with jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317@gmail.com. This has been Locked on Buckeyes on a Tuesday afternoon. We'll see you next time.